This one is for Cancer risings. You guys have Gemini within your 12th house. So what I want to do for you is just kind of paint a picture of what Gemini, being Mercury ruled in your 12th house, would look for you if you have placements there. I also have a couple celebrity examples that I want to share with you at the end. My name is Tracy Leela with soul2soul.ca. I want to encourage you to subscribe, like the video, turn on your notifications, and know that your engagement and support on this channel really does help me to reach other people who are in need of guidance in their healing journey. All right. Cancer risings, with Mercury ruling your 12th house, Gemini being there. It can be very hard for you to trust your logical mind, and making sense of all the information that's coming at you. There's a lot of mutable energy when you have Pisces as that watery undercurrent, and then you've got Gemini with a mutable, conscious, mindful energy as well, that's trying to understand of everything that's coming at you. And so with Gemini being there, Mercury ruled, and Mercury being the planet of divination, of astrology, of a spiritual nature in the 12th house, that it's Hades, so Mercury can be of both masculine, feminine, can merge and move and blend from the underworld into the upper world. It's the planet of the messenger. And so when you got Gemini there, there's a lot of content bouncing around all over the place. A lot of downloads coming in for you having Gemini in your 12th house. And that's going to play a different experience for you depending on the planets that are within your 12th house. Now, if you don't have planets within your 12th house, it will still be an experience for you of a spiritual nature. It will be an experience for you when transits are transiting within your 12th house. You're going to experience this. But it will be for a limited time versus someone who natally has planets within this house. And so there can be a lot of confusing, mutable energy, where a native who has planets there has to be very cautious of the self-sabotage, of the mental self-sabotage, the mental overwhelm, where you could fall far into addiction. And so this is just an idea of how Gemini would play out, being within that 12th house spiritual content. Now, when we look at celebrity examples, I've got two. I've got Angelina Jolie and George Michael. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I stay on track. Now, Angelina Jolie is a Cancer rising, and in her 12th house, she has the Sun and Mercury. And it's just the reflective experience is just, again, a phenomenon when we look at astrology, because with the Sun being representative of the father in the 12th house, it really does create a disconnect relationship, and like an abandonment. There's a disconnect, and there's a loss of connection between the father and the child. And so for her father left when she was less than a year old. He wasn't in her life. Apparently, I believe her sister lived with the father, but she lived with the mother. So he was close in vicinity, but not present. And that's often how it is as a 12th house sun. The presence of the father is missing. And so they have had a dysfunctional relationship, like most people know about Angelina Jolie and her father. So she lived with her mother, and her mother's live-in partner was a filmmaker. And this is where she got her spark of inspiration for acting, was through the live-in partner who was also in the the film industry. And so she began to be inspired to take classes and nurture that acting side of her. Another 12th house reflection of her Sun and Mercury is that she was isolated a lot in school. She was bullied. She comes from a home of a modest income. She was unsuccessful at modeling. Total 12th house, like beautiful woman and unsuccessful. It's hard to succeed with 12th house. It's not to say it's impossible, because Angelina Jolie is of a huge success in my opinion, but it comes with struggles, immense struggles. She went to an alternative school. She was a punk rocker, and she dropped out of school. She was, which is such, I loved hearing this, being 12th house person myself. She applied to be a funeral director and took classes in embalming. And so when you look at embalming and funerals and 12th house, and the 12th house being of institutions and hospitalization, dark, deep content, I mean, this is so fitting as a 12th house person. There was difficulty for her emotionally with other people. She used to do a lot of self-harm, with cutting herself. The pain was like a ceremony, I believe, that she explained, in making her feel better. And this is also very common for 12th house people. With the suffering that you experience as a 12th house person comes acts like that of self-harm. There was eating disorders, there was insomnia, she began drugs at 20 years old, 12th house content. She says that she's done pretty much every drug that is out there, and she planned to commit suicide 2 times in her life. Again, 12th house content. She actually attempted to hire a hitman to kill herself as well. 12th house content. And this really does reflect and show the deep suffering of 12th house content, and the reason why optimism is just doesn't work. Not in this house. George Michael, let's move on. Venus Mercury in the 12th house. Venus Mercury. I mean, the Venus it just shines here in the reflective experience of him. He loved having sex with women, but he was a gay man. He liked both. But apparently for George Michael, he really wanted a relationship with a man. He was a gay man and he wanted to fall in love and build a life with a gay man, but he just loved having sex with women. So he would have sex with lots of women, but eventually came to a point where he would stop. He stopped because he realized that it wasn't the right thing to do. 12th house Venus. Through and through. He had a problem with addiction. Cannabis was his addiction, sleeping pills. He was arrested for drugs. There was 3 years in a row that he was arrested. He was hospitalized for a viral infection, checked into a rehab institution. Again, 12th house, institutions, hospitalization, addiction, drugs. He was secretly and privately donating to charities. Child's Line, cancer supported charities. He was on Deal or No Deal and donated all that to a charity. And he anonymously would donate money for Christmas lights in the town that he lived in for the local residents. And I thought that was such a beautiful thing. And I will end it there. Until next time.